Good evening. How's everybody this evening? It's nice being here with you guys in a new building. I like it. It's really nice. The last time I was here, I talked about the home. I gave you a little bit of history about the home, of where it came from, and where it is today. Well, this time I'd like to give you a little update of what's going on and how things are going. This is one of our younger boys. All of our kids like to be outside, so I had to snap this one pretty fast or he would have left. Have you ever thought about looking through a child's eye, eyes? We were all children at one time. We all saw different things. The children that we take care of see more than what we should see. The children we take care of come from broken homes, abused homes, alcoholic homes. It's a shame that a child has to see these things. It's a shame that a child has to see their family broken apart. It's a shame that a child has to see a mom and dad drunk. Or it's a shame that a child has to see one of their siblings getting abused of some sort. Looking through a child's eyes, we never think about that. As adults, we think about the past is the past. But what about their children? They don't have a past. They have a future that we can give them. The older kids that we take care of have a past, but they have a past that they want to forget. So tonight I want you to look at these pictures I give you and look at the kids' faces. The kids don't always have a smile. Some of the kids usually don't smile. We had one girl that came to us. She was a sibling of 4. She never smiled. She never talked. Very, very quiet. But now that she's 19 years old, she's been with us for quite a long time. She has a smile on her face finally. She never was around her siblings because they were all split up in different places. But we were able to get all the siblings into the children's home so they can all be together. But she has that smile now. She has a beautiful smile. And when she was quiet, you couldn't get her to talk to you. But now you can't get her to be quiet. But that's good, though. That's good to see these kids come out of their shells. That's what our job is as house parents, that we take care of these kids. To understand where they come from. Especially for me, I have an opportunity to tell these kids, especially when they're new, I grew up here in the children's home. I know where you come from. I've been there. I haven't seen a lot, what you've probably seen, but I've been in your shoes. It's not the kids' fault for where they are. But we have an opportunity to change these kids' lives from the past to the present. This picture right here, I was going through some old bulletins, just going through, trying to add new pictures to my slideshows and stuff. picture up here is my dad, my foster dad. Churches have been taking care of the children's home for 60 years. There was a congregation that supported the children's home. Dad needed the vehicle to do his work. They bought him a vehicle. A gentleman bought me and Kathy a pickup and a trailer so we could do the work for the home. They're not for our personal use, but it's for the home. It's so that we have the opportunity to help these kids somehow in some way. Me and Kathy use these vehicles and the trailer so we can travel and save money for the home. You guys know how expensive it is to travel. So if we have the opportunity to help the children's home to save money, that's what we want to do. We still have our food drives that go on. We still have congregations involved with the food drive. And it's wonderful to see people wanting to get involved, to help these children. We have a congregation that help us with meat, because you know how meat can get expensive. But we have a congregation, well, we have a couple of congregations that will help us with the meat and stuff like that we need. We even needed new washer and dryers because our old washer and dryers had just gone kaput. No telling how long they've been there. Our maintenance man was working on them. Every time he came in, one of the washer and dryers were going out, so he had to take it to the shop and work on it. And then there were some washer and dryers that we couldn't even get parts for anymore. So that told you how old they were. So I got on the phone, and Kathy got on the phone, and I told David, I said, let's see what we can do. So we had a lot of people jump in on the ship and bought us new washer and dryers for both cottages. That was wonderful. David looks at me and he goes, thank you. So it's not only the kids that we take care of, it's everybody else, the house parents. David, that works for us, that does all the work for us, that works on the buildings, works on the vehicles, try to make his job easy as well. Our kids still do martial arts. They enjoy it. That picture right there was, they just got their, a couple of months ago, they just got belt testing, and the kids enjoyed that. They really enjoy being able to do something. Because we live about 15 miles out of Gallup, so we can't run to town and take them to the movie and out to eat all the time. So they do martial arts 3 times a week, and so it gives them time to enjoy and do something else different. This picture right here is a congregation on a reservation burnt down to the ground. So they were trying to raise money to build a brand new church. And they got the money together. Well, we had some older boys that were there at the home at the time, and they wanted to get involved. So they were able to go, our preacher would go and help every Saturday, and the boys would go, will Jeff come by and pick us up? We want to help. So Jeff would come by and pick them up. They learned carpentry, plumbing, electrical. They had other men that were from other congregations that would come in that were licensed. They would take the boys with them and show them what to do, teaching them. You know, when you don't have a house parent or when you don't have a parent to teach you how to do things, you struggle with life. Because you have to figure out what life is all about. But when you have somebody there teaching you how to do it, teaching how to read the Bible, getting you to understand the Bible, teaching you how to change a light bulb or do plumbing, it helps you. It helps you with your life, your spiritual life as well. So these boys were able to go, and they were excited every time they were able to go. We have one of our boys that graduated a couple of years ago. He lives in Denver now, and he wants to become a contractor. We have another young man that lives in Albuquerque, and he has what he calls his dream job. He does body work on vehicles. He has his own apartment. He's learning about life. He calls me and Kathy mom and dad, even though he has parents. He talked to Kathy on the phone, or they were talking, texting or something. He said, Mom, he goes, you know what I figured out? She goes, what? He goes, I figured out that $100 don't go very far. Hey, at least he figured it out and was able to share it. Our work's never done. We're always busy doing something, whether it's crawling underneath the house to fix the plumbing, or fixing a water leak that's on campus, or even mowing our weeds. We're always busy. We still have youth groups that come out every summer. We have a lot of projects that cannot be done during the wintertime. So we have youth groups that come out in the summertime to help us do different projects that they can do. We have individuals as well that come out and want to get involved somehow and help with different things. This congregation came out. It was their first time to come out, and they striped parking lots. They pulled weeds. Just simple things. We had some big projects, but it was their first time, but they wanted to be involved. They wanted to know what we were about. But they were happy to be there. As a matter of fact, I have a presentation at their congregation. Their men wanted me to come up and give their presentation to talk about the home because they want their church involved. That's exciting for us, to get people involved with what we do, of what we do with these kids. We still take our kids to LTC down in Tucson every year. It helps them with their spiritual life as well, getting involved with other kids that they probably would never get involved with before. Exciting to see them grow spiritually. Because most of the religion that's on the reservation is Catholic, or they have their native culture religion that they deal with. So we have to teach them about Christ, teach them what the Bible says, what it actually says and what it means. But they make that choice of what they want to be baptized or not. But at least we're teaching them about Christ. This is Josephine and Antonio, our house parents with all the girls. But these kids struggle each and every day with different things. You would never know it by the way they smile, the way they look. You never think that they come from a broken home. We had one girl that came came to us. She was new. Me and Kathy we're not relief house parents anymore. We are full-time PR persons. But she was standing at church, and one of the house, I think it was Josephine, was introducing me to her because we weren't there when they came. And I said, hello, how are you? My name's Norman, and my wife is sitting over there. We were talking, and she's kind of shy. But then you had the other girls that already knew us. They're coming up and running over to you and giving you a hug. Hey, Norman, how are you guys? We missed you guys. We're glad you're back. And that girl just looks at them like, what are you doing? But they have no idea what a family is all about. But now every time I see her, she runs up and gives me a hug. Hey, Norman. Hi, how are you? I'm doing good. But just learning to know what a family is all about. The boys are the same way. I feel like boys are more difficult than the girls are. Their hearts are more hardened from what they've been through. The girls, they just want a father figure. The boys just want a mother figure. They just want to be loved. They don't care who will take the opportunity to love them. But they just want to be loved and taken care of, just like any of y'all's kids or grandkids. They just want that same thing. But they come from a broken home. They don't know how to express themselves because they never had that. This is John and Tina. They are our new relief house parents. They're the ones that take our job now, and they love their job. I was talking to John the other day. He goes, I love it here. He goes, and I love these kids. This is our little family. It's Monica. We've had her since she was about right before her second birthday. We got her. She just turned 12. She goes and sees her mom once a month, and her brother goes with her. But she's always glad to come back home. And we say, we missed you. She always runs and gives us a hug. Missed you, Mom. Missed you, Dad. It's pretty sad that you see the difference between these kids that have broken homes and the kids that live at the children's home. Kids are smart. It's pretty bad when you have one of the kids, older kids, you say, well, your parents are coming to pick you up this weekend. And they look at you and they say, I don't want to go. I want to stay here. I don't want to go this weekend. They just want somebody to love them and care for them. Family is important. This congregation, you guys are a family. It's important to you, isn't it? We have children's homes all over the world. We have kids all over the world that need loving and caring. They just want to know what happened to their world. That's all. They just want a family. They're just letting the kids be kids. Letting them have fun. It's exciting to see the kids out playing. Because they probably never got that chance before. AJ, he's one of our older boys. Well, he is the oldest one now on campus now. He never had the opportunity to play baseball or football. But he plays football now. He still plays baseball, but he loves football. He played football last year for the very first time. And he led her for the first time. They even had scouts looking at him. The coach even brought scouts in to look at him because he's that good. But he never had the opportunity to do what he wanted to do. And now he does, and he loves it. To see that smile on his face. He came over to our house with his brother. His brother came in from Albuquerque to see us, came over to the house, and they all sat around and talked. And he was sitting over there on the couch with Kathy, had his phone out showing her, this is what I was doing. This is my game. This is where I made the interception. This is where I made the touchdown. To see that smile, that excitement that he had, and sharing it with us. He didn't have to. He didn't have to at all. But he was excited to do something that he's always wanted to do. And he shared it with us, and that was exciting to us, to see him come from a shy boy to where he's at, a young man now. We still have our projects that we do every year to help support the home. We have the 5K that we do every year. We do it in town. We get our community to come out and support the children's home. We still have our championship bull riding that we do every year as well. It's our biggest fundraising that we do. We made 17,000. We made 17,000 this year that we brought home. And it's exciting to see people involved. We do parking, we park the cars, we do concession stand, and all the money we get from those goes to the home. We have congregations that come and help with the project, and they've been coming for quite a while now. But it's exciting to see them come, and kids know the kids too. And to see them all out in the playground playing because they know somebody from somewhere else. To see our kids excited about them coming to help. Just having our kids there, helping them with their lives, with their spiritual life as well, helping them become a better person from where they came from. Now, I admit, we're not going to change everyone. You have your ones that will go back to the reservation and will struggle with life like their family. But then you have the ones that, like Everett or AJ, that see that opportunity to change. And that's what makes your heart glow, is when they change and they want to change. The children's home been, the children's home been in business for 60 years. I hate saying business, but it is a business. But for 60 years, congregation as yourself, individuals as yourself, has been taking care of us, providing for us, taking care of these kids. We have 19 kids on campus right now. It's like I tell people, you didn't know you have 19 kids, did you? You provide for them. You take care of them. You give them food. You give them clothes. You give them shelter. And you love them. Once again, that's all they want, is just to be loved. From the past to now, it's a family. That's what we are there. We're a family. And it's wonderful. We don't always get along. Everybody's human. But when something major comes up, we all stick together as a family should. All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Therefore, go make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son, and teaching them. There's that key word. Teaching them. Teaching who? Them. Who are them? We are them. This congregation here is them. Your children in this congregation is them. The children that you take care of at Manuelito Navajo Children's Home is them. And baptizing them. And hoping that one day they can be part of our Christian family. The picture in the middle is AJ and another young boy. I think it was last month. Maybe 2 months ago that AJ decided to get baptized. That was exciting when we heard the news. We were on a trip then, but that was exciting to hear. To get these kids involved in Christ, to be an example that they need to be to others, to the other kids. The young lady that's in the middle here that I got to baptize, Ernestine, she went on a trip with us here to California. She's always wanted to go to California. And all the kids always want to go to California. So we brought her to California. We toured everything. I was doing presentations as well. We went to our daughter's and son-in-law's congregation, and the preacher was talking. And she listens. She listens at church when we're home. But that Sunday, for some reason, what he was saying was actually getting to her, because she had her Bible out, following what he had to say. She was on the end of her seat, just listening to every word. She'd never done that before. But we went home. We went on a trip again. We came back, and I was back there in the foyer, opening the doors, greeter for the church. She was doing the sound system, and me and her was talking, and she was saying, when can I go back to California? I said, I don't know, we'll have to figure it out. And I said, why? She goes, I liked it. She said, I want to go see Jennifer again. That's our daughter. I said, you liked it? I said, you liked the church? She goes, yes, I did. I said, so when are you going to get baptized? She looks at me and she goes, Norman, will you baptize me? You know how my heart felt? I just felt numb all over. because she wanted me to baptize her. I could have cried then when I was talking to her, but I didn't. That was so wonderful to see her so involved in Christ. Like I said, to see these kids change from where they came from to where most of these kids are today is exciting. God has a plan for all of us. We don't know what it is until we're there. I never thought I would be a speaker. When I graduated from high school, went to Texas. I worked at a college. I was a plumber and a welder. And then I went into the sign business. I thought that was my calling. And God looked down on me. He said, "Nope. It's not where I need you, Norman. I need you back home. I need you to help these children." We have a need. This is our campus right now. This is what our campus looks like. We have 27.5 acres. But we want our campus to look like this. Where the black arrow is, we want to build another circle. We want to build some more cottages. Why? Because the need is there. Mr. Christian, our superintendent, was talking to a social worker that comes out and checks on the kids that she puts in the home. She comes out maybe once a month, maybe every other month to check on them, make sure everything's okay, if Jim has any questions or anything. He was talking to her in his office, and he was talking to her about kids. And he said, "If I build a cottage, can you give me more kids?" She said, "Yes." "Well, if I build 3 more cottages, can you bring me more kids?" She looked at him and said, "Mr. Christian, right now I have 100 kids that have nowhere to go. That I have nowhere to put these kids. Every place that I've tried, they've all fulled up or they don't need anymore. So yes, you build these cottages, I can fill you up with kids." So that gave Mr. Christian the ideal. He talked to me and Kathy, and he said, "This is what I need you guys to do. We want to expand. We want to build. We need to build. Because there are so many kids out there that need a place to go." Most of the kids that live on the reservation, about 75% of them live with their grandparents. They don't know who their mom is. They don't know who their dads are. But they live with their grandparents. So if we can help these kids grow somehow, some way, spiritually, whatever it is, to give them a different life, that's what we need to do. That's what God wants us to do, to help these kids. This is some of the ways that you can help. Kathy and I have a display out in the foyer. We have some brochures out there. We'd love for you to come by and pick them up. And we would answer any questions that you might have. At least I hope we can answer some of them. If we can't, we will find the answer for you. But we'd love you to come by and visit with us and look at the brochures as well. It's like I tell people, it's not about me, or it's not about us as house parents or our superintendent. It's about these kids. What we do, what I do tonight, is about these kids. My mom and dad, my foster parents, worked for the home for 28 years. My dad was a superintendent there for 28 years. They did that for the kids, not for them, for the kids. That's what we do this for, to help these kids that are struggling in life. Once again, we don't get any money from the state. It's all congregation and individuals as yourself. We don't even get money from the Navajo government or the Zuni, the kids we take care of. So we take care of these kids by the love and the support that you guys give us. Once again, this is my parents. I dedicate what I do tonight to them because they were example to me. To see my dad up doing the presentation was exciting. I was one of the little boys that were in the back handing out the brochures to the people that came by. But I never thought that I would be doing his job. Mom always said that when we would travel and stuff, me and my brother would hand out the brochures. And she would always say that when you were growing up, you would always say you were going to come back and take your dad's job. I didn't think I was going to. But God did. And I thank Him every day that I do what I do. I thank God for giving me the opportunity to speak for these kids that can't speak for themselves because they don't know how to express themselves. So I speak for these kids out of love. That's what my parents did. And I'm so thankful that I have a partner that's right there beside me that will help me do this as well. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here this evening to give you a little update of what's going on. To change the subject a little, offer an invitation. Have any of y'all got a splinter or paper cut in your hand? It hurts, doesn't it? I hate paper cuts. The splinter I can deal with, but paper cuts I can't. I'm a big baby when it comes to a paper cut. But it bugs you and it drives you crazy because you don't know what to do with that hand. You don't know if you need to put it out of the way and let it heal or what. But what if you had this in your hand? There's a young man that walked upon this earth that did this for us. He walked down the narrow road to where that cross was by himself. They spat upon him. They cursed him. They put a crown of thorns on his head. They even nailed him to a cross. And then they put a spear up his ribs. Why? For you, 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 you. I can go on. For me, for these kids, for your kids and grandkids. That's why He did this. Because He loved us. We all know this memory heart by verse. We learned it as a kid. For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in Him should not perish but have everlasting life. We all know that. But we forget about 17. We don't think about 17. Why don't we teach our kids verse 17 when we're teaching them this verse? It's just as important as the first verse. He did not send his Son into this world to condemn the world, but to save the world. I feel like that's important. I know he sent his Son for us, but he also loved us no matter what we did wrong, no matter how far we've gotten. He sent his Son to die on the cross for us. We don't deserve it. And I put my hands up. I don't deserve it. But he did. It's like I tell people when I'm doing my presentation, when I'm offering the invitation, if a gunman came through this door and he grabbed somebody, or he said, I'm going to shoot, I want one person to sacrifice for each and every one of you. And then the rest of you can go. Would you be the one to step up? Or would you be the one to step back and see who else is going to do it? This young man laid there on the cross as they stuck nails in his hands and in his feet and thorns on his head. And they whipped him before they did that. Why? Because he loved us. He loved each and every one of us. So I want you to think about that this week when you're out and about. I want you to think about, who can I talk to about Christ? Are you going to talk to your neighbor this week about Christ? Are you going to talk to the lady that's at the cashier? Or the gentleman that runs the grocery store? Or the greeter at Walmart? All you got to say is, do you know about Christ? That's all he wants us to do, is to spread his word. As he gave his Son to die on the cross for us. Think about that this week. Even the young kids in school, you have an opportunity to talk to kids about Christ, or even invite them to church if you don't understand the Bible. You can get them to come and learn what you've learned. So the invitation is yours tonight. Whatever your need is, you can come while we stand and sing.